Welcome to Class Firearms, guys. Kai over here. And today we're going to talk about top 5 10mm handguns of 2023. Now, 10mm has been out there since the 80s. However, it's becoming more and more popular in the recent years for its effective terminal ballistics capabilities. Whether you're out there hunting, biking, backpacking, camping, whatever you're doing, it seems to be like 10mm is a great option for protecting yourself against bears, mooses, etc. And in fact, there's some videos out there in YouTube and wherever. If you guys find them, there's some gnarly videos out there that people are using their 10mm to take out some bears. Wow. Anyways, moving on. So with that being said, a 10mm in the 80s and the 90s, they weren't all that popular because they were some like hand cannons. They weren't really easy to handle. However, with the new technologies, companies are innovating and making them much more manageable. And I've got some basically top 5 like that I could find popular brands in front of me. I've got the TSAS 1911 just as a platform over here. TSAS 1911X. I've got the 6 Hour P320 X10. Springfield XTM Elite 10mm, Smith & Wesson M&P 10mm, M&P 10, and of course Glock 20 Gen 4 over here in 10mm. Now, these are the guns that I found to be most popular that you guys will be interested in. However, I didn't want to play this fanboy thing because I do like Glocks. I've carried them for years, but I didn't want to play that and just simply select my top 5 without experiencing this. So I took these to the range and kind of shot them and put them through some tests in my personal opinion. And I've had 5 categories in my mind. I've had the, obviously trigger is very important on a handgun. We all care about that. Ergonomics, you want it to feel good in your hand. Sight, very important. Mag capacity, very important. And of course, lastly, looks. If you're not looking good, you're not winning. So, after all these, the test, the shooting, and all that stuff, I have narrowed down my top 5, and without further ado, my number 5. And my number 5 is going to be Glock 20. Now, some of you Glock guys are going to want to click off this video. Don't leave yet, because I'm a Glock guy myself. Let me explain to you why this is my number 5. I love Glocks, guys. They're just phenomenal. They're proven, just phenomenal guns. I've carried them for years. I depend on my life on them. I still own them. However, in this category, compared to the other 4s that we have, when it comes to ergonomics, remember I've got categories, the ergonomics, the trigger, sight, the mag capacity, and overall looks. It just doesn't feel right in my hand. It's just such a big gun. Like when you have 10mm guns, like 10mm is a larger round. So when it's larger, it's going to make the gun larger. The magazine's going to be bigger, the grip is going to be bigger and overall. But compared to the other 10mm guns, it just doesn't feel all that good in my hand. It just feels like a brick. And that's why it just had to be my number 5. And of course, you guys know about Glock triggers. They work reliable, but they're just heavy and just notchy. I don't really like them. And it has just basic Glock sights. Just overall, and when it comes to looks, obviously, it's just a Glock. Now, this is just like a Glock 17 size-wise, Glock 20. There are other options out there. Glock 29, which is going to be like the Glock 19 size, just slightly smaller. And we've got the Glock 40, which I'll show you right now. Here it is, Glock 40 if you wanted to, bigger like a Glock 34. In fact, even slightly larger, you could have Glock 40. And this is MOS cut over here. There are other MOS cut options of 20 and 29 as well. That is it. So it's going to come down to personal preference, but Glock is going to be my number 5 for those reasons, but still love a good Glock. And my number 4 is going to be 6 Hour P320 X10 over here. Now, why is that? Because 6 Hour is a great company, reliable, awesome guns, and also when you look at it, phenomenal, tactical looking, badass looking gun. Really liked it. I just had a couple of issues with it. Now, when it comes to grabbing the gun, I've got it in my, like ergonomically, it doesn't feel too bad. It's definitely better than the Glock, but it's not as good as the other guns that I'm about to show you. So there's that, and also the trigger. When I look at the trigger, guys, again, it's a 6 Hour trigger. It's got this really silent thud. I just can't come to terms with it. It just, I don't know why. I don't personally like it all that much. The sights, I really like the sights overall. When I bring the sights up, I can just see that front green dot right away. It's easy, it's cut for an optic. I didn't like that it was a little bit front heavy. You can just tell the barrel is a little too long. Picatinny rail attachment over here, just a little front heavy. I just found it top and front heavy a little bit too big. So, and when it comes to magazine capacity, 15 round magazine capacity, just like the Glock, and most of them will be 15 rounds for these 10 millimeters, which is not bad for a 10 millimeter. But overall, good gun. But again, it's better than the Glock, but not, I didn't like it as much as the other three, which I'm about to show you. And my number 3 is going to be 1911. A good old 1911, guys. 2 world wars, obviously, not in this caliber. Perhaps a third one will be one in 10 millimeter. Hopefully not. We'll see. But anyways, 10 millimeter 1911 over here. In this case, we've got the TSAS 1911X with only 8 round capacity. Now, we have other options out there, of course. Rock Island Ultra HC, that's got 16 round capacity on a 10 millimeter double stack, which is obviously phenomenal. Capacity is very important. It's one of my categories. When it comes to trigger, obviously 1911 trigger, guys. This beautiful single action, phenomenal. Sights, I've never been a big fan of 1911 sights. Looks wise, it's a good all metal 1911. Again, it never changed. It is this thing, external ambidextrous safety, phenomenal. I'm more of a striker fire, polymer framed handgun person. That's why this is number 3. I shot it pretty well, and recoil management for what it is wasn't bad at all. It kicked more like 45 caliber to me. It felt very close to it. But overall, when it comes to, in this specific case, capacity, again, Rock Island Ultra HC's got the 16 round capacity, and the sights, and just for the fact that it's a full metal gun, which is not really my style, this is my number 3. And number 2 is going to be Springfield XDM Elite in 10 millimeter. Now, full transparency, guys, Springfield did send this to us, but at no point they asked us to make any videos or talk about it. In fact, I saw this gun and I went to Springfield's booth and we were just interviewing them, and I told them how, like, I really liked the way it looked, and I was talking to them about it, and then they were like, hey, we'll just send you one. That was it. So that's the transparency note. Moving on. Why is this number 2? In my opinion, when it comes to ergonomics, I'm just gonna go ahead and get my sights on. This thing just looks and feels really good in my hand. Sights, I'm not a big fan of. I don't like this whole U thing in the back, but overall, it feels really good in the hand, and totally, when it comes to trigger, just phenomenal. One of the first things I noticed when I looked at this gun at the Springfield's booth, I was like, wow, this is, it looks amazing, but also really, really good trigger. When it comes to mag capacity, it says 15 here, but it is actually 16. Springfield told us that. And yes, we can consistently load 16 rounds in here. So 16 round magazine capacity, cut for an optic, just overall good looking piece. And the fact that this is FDE, I like it a lot better because it's very close to my skin color. And in fact, you probably can't even see my skin, right? Yeah. Anyways, that's it. Overall, Springfield XDM Elite, number 2. And also, you know what? Recoil management was really good with this too. However, it's not number 1. Before we move on to my number 1, let's have a quick honorable mention, and that's going to be FN's 510 10 millimeter, 15 round magazine capacity. And the reason we are bringing this up to your attention because it's out there, however, we don't have it yet. As soon as we are able to get it, we're going to do a quick video on that one too and see what you guys think. But anyways, moving on to my number 1. And my number 1 is going to be Springfield MMP10 over here, guys. I was really impressed with this. When it comes to ergonomics, it feels really good in my hand, and the stiffening in this gun, like the grip is so sticky. When I grab it, my hand is not moving at all. Compared to Springfield, which I really like the ergonomics and the texture, this is just way, way better. Just feels good, and it doesn't even feel like a 10 millimeter handgun. It's so slim, and I don't know how they did it, but Smith & Wesson did a phenomenal job. Really love the suppressor height sight, cut for an optic, and I was really impressed with the trigger too. Trigger was just almost at the level of Springfield XDM's trigger. Just phenomenal, and I shot this thing really well. I was surprised how accurate I was with this. Yeah, overall, just phenomenal. It doesn't feel like a 10 millimeter gun. That's what I was really surprised with. That's about it, guys. This is my list, my number 1 over here, and you guys saw my 2, 3, 4, and 5. What are your thoughts? Let me know your experience with these guns and how would you rank your list compared to mine. I tried to be as honest as I could. I didn't want to play this whole fanboy thing with you guys, and basically actually show you guys mag dumping these guns back to back too, to kind of be as transparent as I can. Anyways, that's about it. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you on the next one.